TV Free Cup Studio Live 2021 GSL SuperTournament Season 1.
Welcome back, everybody. We're halfway through today's games. Two quick 3-0s. Protoss is advancing right now. We're going to have Stats versus Bunny coming up here. I'm curious to see how exactly Stats is going to play. It does seem like we're in an era now at the beginnings of 2021 where a Protoss can play conservatively, can play on the defense, doing more of a read and a response to what his opponent's doing. And that's usually a good thing for Stats.
Yeah.
Bunny is strong. He's been improving. But, you know, he's usually the odd man out compared to some of the other guys we have when you get the top 16 in the world.
Yes. Looking at the bracket overall, this was the one mismatch that I saw personally.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's really a world in which Bunny wins this match, to be honest. Stats is in great shape. He's one of the best two Protosses in the world right now, without any doubt. His PVT looks strong. And while Bunny is good, he's a strong player, he did really well winning his group in the last chance.
Yeah.
But he's not the level that you think he can beat Stats, especially the type of way that he plays, right? Like he'll play like kind of leaning on aggressive into something like a Doom drop, and it's like, well, I mean, Stats like is very good at blocking that type of thing.
Yeah, so, and the problem is if you're being super aggro to Stats, and he's stopping it, you're going to put yourself further and further behind. TVP is, I would say, a little bit more interesting as far as moments that can actually have skirmishes and fights and duels in the early game. So let's see what Bunny's got in store. I think certainly we're going to have a better PVT than the one we saw before. It's hard to play worse than Cure did.
Well, we literally, at the pro level, can't have matches that bad.
Yeah.
That was a complete anomaly.
Yeah,
we won't see anything like that
pretty
again
bad
for a long time. But, yeah, Bunny versus Stats, like, he'll definitely put up a fight. Like, I could even see him taking a map. It's just, Stats is so monstrous. I mean, if Bunny were to upset him, power to him. That is an amazing result. And after beating, what was it, Innovation and Rainer in last chance, it's like, okay, well, suddenly you're really coming up. But Bunny is really sporadic with his results.
Yeah, he's just not as consistent.
Yeah.
You know, we have I would really put him in like a tier 2 for GSL.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's unlikely.
He's around a 24 guy that sometimes occasionally gets around a 16. It's not that often.
Yeah, it's not too often, and he's somebody we're waiting to see is going to develop. But it seems like the other players are one step ahead. Now Stats has also had his periods of complete dominance and then falls from grace. But I would definitely put Stats as the favorite here. We'll see if there's any plot twists with this.
Yeah. And I think especially with the state the game is in right now, he's heavily favored here. But let's see. Game 1, going to be on Romanticide.
That's right. We're going to go to Romanticide now. That game is loading up. Bunny versus Stats in this best of 5. The winner goes on to the round of 8 to play tomorrow in the GSL SuperTournament.
Game start. Africa Freaks. Stats. Team NV. Bunny.
All right. It's kind of an interesting little scout there. He checks for a proxy, comes back, throws down his gateway, and then goes back out to a different side.
Makes a little horseshoe move out there, a little U-turn, pops in, and just says, okay, there's nothing right out here, right? And,
isn't that funny, though? It's like Stats being Stats. It's like, yeah, let's just make sure I don't get cheesed out.
Captain careful. So, yeah, I mean, Stats has historically been, you know, you can make a spectrum of Protoss styles of play. You have partying and SOS on one side, aggressive, in your face, oftentimes risk-taking, hard to predict, and then you can go all the way to the other side of the spectrum. It's Stats, and it's careful, reactive, intel intensive, and he oftentimes shows that you can really play Protoss in the most conservative fashion and absolutely win tournaments.
Yeah, he's like a spiritual successor to Rain, I would say.
I agree.
Although
I like that.
Even more reactive and defensive than Rain was.
So the Nexus is coming down here. Looks like nobody wants to do anything risky to start things off, and I think that makes sense. I don't think we're going to see, like Bunny do what, let's say, Cure did, where he had a barracks with a Reaper. He tries to run in there, just some kind of basically obsolete build. I think Bunny's probably going to play a better game. Now, we've got the Adept coming, the bunker being made on the other side of the map with the factory started.
Oh, the Reaper. Just going to run past, jump up into the main base. Oh, nice. Has that, the stats shield battery finishing up. He actually gets that, like, every PvT to stop the Reaper.
Yeah.
And it allows him to be across the map with the Adepts. He loves to put on a little bit of pressure with his early Adepts.
Yeah,
so.
we don't see the other Protosses do this as much, and it can seem almost like a bit of a money sink, but really it's smart. Like, look at this. Now this Adept is here. The Reaper literally can't do anything when there's a shield battery.
Yeah. It really can't. It will take forever for it to kill anything.
Yeah.
So it's not even worth trying. But yeah, it's cool because this is like a very stylistic thing that Stats likes to do, and he's good with it. He knows how to make it work. Look how long he's stalling this for. You're telling me that this wasn't worth that shield battery that's actually useful all game?
Shield battery actually paid for itself now. We have no SCV in here just yet. If he can get the snipe on that. Oh! Okay,
does lose an Adept, but that was totally worth it.
No, it was a great play.
Ooh, we have a quick armory, so this could be like a fast cloaked mine drop coming up.
Well, I think the strongest thing against Protoss early on is to get Widow Mines in there and start to kill off their workers.
Dude, he's even getting Drilling Claws.
I'm not surprised.
Oh, man. Like, I mean, if you're going to do a build that's very focused on 1 to 2 quick drops against Stats, who's like really good at blocking things like that, this is the one, because this can really catch you off guard. First off, of course, because the mines you can't see.
Right.
But second off, the Drilling Claws, whenever like it comes this early, it's a very surprising thing for Protoss, where it's like they slip into the ground so fast. Like every Protoss has the pull timing of probes in their head against Widow Mine drops, but it's completely different against Drilling Claws, and you never expect it this early.
Yeah, it's very, very smart. Now I got, Stats very comfortable at people attacking into him, so let's see how this goes. But I think Bunny definitely playing a better TVP than Cure here. Coming in now.
You could have played a better TVP than Cure Tasis.
I am just relieved to see someone doing this.
Yeah. All right, nice warping. Oh, he actually wiggles by, but not going to work out for him. Does lose that. Drilling Claws 10 seconds out.
Yeah, and this medevac is going to come in here
as the Stalkers are leaving.
Yeah.
Huge, huge. And honestly, it's a delayed medevac timing anyways, so it makes sense that this would be a bit confusing for Stats.
Observer taking some damage. Now, there is a warp in just out of vision. The Drilling Claws are going to come down. Is the split good enough? Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was a nice one.
Beautifully done. Another Widow Mine going to come down. But this is a dive on the bunker. Is this is enough SCVs? I think you just repair.
Picks off the Viking, though, which is really, really nice. Tanks coming down.
It's kind of an awkward spot. You're deep in enough, it's hard to pull away without eating damage. You're trying to optimize what your Stalkers are doing.
Okay, he's going to just get this mine before it resets. Where's the other one?
I think that's in the medevac. So,
oh, he just still had... Oh, okay. I was wondering if he, like, maybe hit it at the other line or something.
Seems to me like this is very much just part of the meta here. With these Stalkers attacking the refinery, coming in here, putting pressure on. The question is really going to be, where is it all going to end up at? Because we're having a lot of probes killed off here. Nice pickup. He's going to try to shuffle the probes over to the side, but now this mine might try to come down there and get a kill. So, Widow Mines are killing workers, but Stalkers are destroying infrastructure and keeping pressure on the Terran.
Yeah, definitely I would say Stats is doing better with this.
Yeah, it's 46 probes to 36 SCVs, so that's a pretty substantial lead.
And the drops weren't bad or anything.
No. They were good, but
he is doing pretty quality counter damage. But Kira's, Kira, Jesus, still in my head.
Bunny.
Yeah, no, Bunny is doing a good job with the bunkers, with the siege tanks, all that, defending.
Okay, Stalker's hitting this refinery over here. And we're going to see if he can actually do much. Again, siege tanks really, I should say well-placed, well-defended siege tanks really stop this from doing much more. We've got that 3 siege tank number, so I don't see the Stalkers able to come in and do damage without taking too much damage of their own. Oh my god, is he going to intercept this?
He might.
Oh, just barely not, it looks like. Oh, hold on. Hold on. There's actually, the Stalkers are going all the way down.
Okay, yeah, he feels that this is happening.
Yeah. Good game sense here by Stats.
Yeah, yeah. Very well done. Great catch. Look at that.
Wow, Bunny not even able to empty that in time.
Stats trying to get some harass done. Not going to happen there, so the tank's still in position. Some nice play from Bunny, though. Like, I think he's defending really well. He's trying to get out there and get something done, but Stats is like an iron wall.
Yeah, I think Bunny's opening was very impressive, and he did a very good job, but honestly, you know, the longer the game goes, you can see Stats is just in control of the map. He really has a sense for where Bunny's going to go. You know, I think Bunny might have had a slight upper hand when the Widow Mine started to burrow, but once Stats realized what kind of game he was in, he handled it with grace.
So yeah, Stats here sitting on his 3 bases, got a very healthy probe count, getting his Colossi out. Throwing down a few cannons just for safety's sake. I don't think we really have any more mine drops coming in, but cannons against a regular mine drop are okay, but against a drilling claw mine drop don't really actually do anything.
Yeah.
You feel like you want them because you want detection there and something to clear the mines, but it's like, well...
Thing is that the mines will already do their damage before it's killed, so it's like, well, that'll kill it if you don't have the APM to try to deal with something like that, but...
See? It's not an issue. They just get it off. But, a pretty good defense as he did warp in those 3 Stalkers.
But let's see how well these Colossi do. Tanks are not sieged up here. If he doesn't siege them up in time, Protoss can actually come in here and try to take a fight. Oh my god, and this is where you have the army, but you don't have everything set up where it needs to be. And this is a lot of damage here onto Bunny.
Yeah.
His Marines are just melting under that splash. He's going to try to shoot the Warp Prism down. He does get the Warp Prism killed off, but at what cost, really? There's still 3 Colossi in this game. 1 Viking slowly chipping away at these, the shields of one of the Colossi, but I imagine another Warp Prism made and met up with this army and a few more Warpins, and I think Bunny might be toast.
I got to say, though, like, he caught Bunny there. Like you said, he had, like, the right types of units, but he was a little bit out of position. He wasn't properly sieged, you know. And Stats, like, did so much with that, and Bunny still ends up holding. And you know what? He's got 5 medevacs. He has 3 tanks now. A 3rd one just popped out. So, like, maybe he can rally a defense here, but the thing is, Stats is continuing to grow during all of this.
Okay. An Observer's going to get a peek in here. I think Stats might be able to attack in again. I mean, turrets are being made. Is the Natural actually that well defended as well, I wonder?
I'm not sure. He had a tank there. It's not there anymore. It's been moved out to the 3rd base area. So that's what was preventing his harassment before. Sometimes you get it stuck in your head, though, that, like, oh, I can't really harass there. He's been defending it all game.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think you could be right. Like, I don't see a red dot that makes me think of missile turrets there.
This many Archons tells me he's itching for another fight.
Oh, yeah.
The tanks are going to siege up, but not already being sieged here means a lot of damage is going to be done. Between the Archons and the Colossi, everything is just getting melted here. The tanks go down as the Archons press forward. I don't know that Bunny can last through this attack.
No, this is way too much.
GG.
I tell you, beautiful game from Stats. I think Bunny actually played pretty well. I saw a lot of really cool small moves from him. I think strategically this was not a bad idea.
No.
It's just Stats is just playing some of the best Protoss in the world.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with Widow Mine drops, it's hard for Protoss to deal with, especially with Drilling Claws, but if you don't do that much damage, you are giving up units while Protoss is still making army, you know? Especially when we saw medevacs getting shot down and the drops became quieter and quieter. Tank's not sieged up. I understand that Terran wants to be a bit more fluid with their defense, but you see an attack like that coming in. Tanks are sieging up, and Archon shots are already going down on them. Although honestly, I think even if tanks are in siege mode in the back, you still win the fight.
Yeah, that last one for sure.
Yeah.
And even the middle fight, it's like Stats was going to do okay with it, but he did fantastically with it. Sometimes you have the units, and so you kind of expect your opponent not to attack. You're not really thinking they will because you know you can hold it.
Right.
But sometimes that's the most powerful time because you're not really looking for it.
All right, guys, we're going to go into Game 2
Game start.
with Stats versus Bunny.
Africa Freaks. Stats. Team NV. Bunny.
Okay. Let's see what Bunny tries this time around. I don't have any problems really when I look at the builds, but Stats handle it very well. I can't be critical of Bunny going for the play like that. It actually, there's a lot of ideas there. But yeah, I mean, Stats just kind of bobbed and weaved, and in the end had a better endgame army.
Yeah, and I think in general against Stats, you need to play for like late mid game. Early game, it's really hard to do anything against him because he slants towards defense. But people who slant towards defense, if you let yourself build a little bit more, like you get up the tech tree a little bit more. Like, for instance, when Liberator-based Terran armies were really all the rage, that's the one thing that could kill Stats is like a decent-sized Liberator-based Marine Marauder medevac ball, right? Where you have like 6 Liberators in there and you're moving out and it's like he only has one form of splash right there and he doesn't have his 4th base up. Those types of attacks are generally a bit better against his style, but I think it takes a lot of bravery to play like that. if that makes sense. It's like that can be a very scary place because you're very close to getting to that end game where Protoss has 2 sources of splash damage. And as soon as Protoss gets 2, that's like where stuff actually gets very hard for Terran, I think.
Oh, I would agree. Well, the way the AI moves, I mean, these units bunch together very neatly, especially Marines. And so, you know, when you have a arced battle like with the one we saw before, there's Archons, there are Colossi beams coming down, and some Zealots in the front. They just burn their way through everything the Terrans got. Yeah, and that third base, there isn't really a good position you can get to fight that. It's not even a boxy position either. I mean, it's just, like you said, it's the volume of splash damage that's coming out.
Yeah, and the counters to the 3 sources of splash, you have the Disruptor, the Colossus, the High Templar, are completely different. You can counter one as Terran, and then anything else, it's like, well, okay, you can go Vikings against Colossi, but guess what beats Vikings? High Templars and Disruptors, right? Yeah. Okay, so Ghosts can beat High Templars, but guess what? Both Colossi and Disruptors are great against them. So it's just it gets tough at that point. But again, I think that is the window you should be approaching, going towards against Stats.
Good
That's
control.
Where you want to get him.
Good little duel here in the middle. We have Phoenixes coming out, by the way. I want to go back to the early game of Stats there with the battery. Very smart play. I think some players can look at that and say, well, what happens if he doesn't attack me with the Reaper? That's fine. I think
who cares?
Stats is basically completely zoned out certain tactics that other players might find to be a headache.
Absolutely the case.
Imagine that it was Kier's proxy racks against that.
Yeah.
And there's just a battery there. It's like, all right, man, now your barracks is on the other side of the map. How about that?
Yeah.
So we've got a Cyclone out. Stats already prepping for a very different game. The Robo comes down now as well. Did Protoss show the first Phoenix?
I don't think he has.
I don't think you would want
he's
to.
Sitting back with it for now.
I think it's much better to try to hide them and spring them on the Terran later. Well, but there he goes.
Gonna have to show him now.
Cat's out of the bag now.
Yep. Second Cyclone is going to be popping out, so he definitely has a decent amount of anti-air. So 2 Viking, 2 Cyclone.
I was about to ask, can't you push if you've got a second Cyclone coming out here? I mean, Phoenixes with not much else there aren't strong at all. Stats could be in for some trouble, especially with this third probe coming out. It looks like he wants to take a Nexus.
Wow, a 3rd Cyclone and a 3rd Viking. This is really kind of cool what we're seeing here from Bunny. Actually comes up, and the 3rd base hadn't gotten started yet, but I mean, this could have easily knocked it out if it had. All right, diving on top of the Vikings here with those Phoenixes. Well, they get targeted down very, very quickly. The Adepts coming up, adding what damage they can into this.
Yeah, this is pretty well controlled here by Bunny.
Yeah.
Stats is on the run, but let's see what... Oh, nice escape. Let's see what happens with the next warp in. You have to remember, Terran does have to rally units from their starting location. Protoss can warp in here, back at home as well.
3 Cyclones is pretty scary stuff.
Yeah. That Viking is finally killed off, but it's traded for a Phoenix, and 1 Phoenix...
Oh my god.
Yeah.
This is kind of crazy right now. He's losing the pylon. Down goes the gateway.
Yeah,
this is a cool attack.
It's very cool. It's interesting to see how Stats is going to try to hang on, but with the Immortal out, I'm worried that that's the end of this.
Yeah, I think it is the end of it.
Nothing else you can do. And Protoss is still chasing this. Not all these units are that fast. Vikings and Marines are not good at running away.
Not so much.
And so,
oh, I don't know about that landing, but okay.
Oh, I think he's trying to target that Viking. Damn, Buddy's control is sick here.
Yeah, he's actually dealing a ton of damage here to the Immortal, and he's gonna get it.
Damn,
wow.
That's huge. Yeah. And it's an Observer coming out next to Colossus after that. But I don't think that Bunny knows that there's in fact not a second Immortal here. I think in your head you're just glad you got that Immortal and you can get out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you have like a red Cyclone, another Cyclone, 2 Yellow Marines, and then you turn around at 6 minutes 30 seconds and go for another attack with it.
Yeah.
You're actually crazy. That's probably not the right choice, even if this time it was the right choice. Yeah. That was what a strange early game and interesting scuffles we saw there.
I just realized the robotics bay. It has 3 fingers like a Protoss Artosis.
No, but they have 4 total. They have either 3 fingers and a thumb, or 2 thumbs and 2 fingers.
Yeah, but this one has the 3 fingers and the thumb's not there. If you watch next time it's upgrading, it's like 3 wiggling Protoss fingers.
Yeah.
Take a look.
But where would the thumbs be?
Underground. Gripping the ground.
Okay. The base is the thumb.
Yeah, the base is the thumb. That's holding the controller. So we've got the 3rd almost done now. I like the early part of this, but now we're going into a game that Protoss is expanding and growing and teching up. How is Bunny going to handle a later game?
Yeah, it is a good question. Like, is he going to go for some hyper aggression, like get his production rolling and then just have medevacs all over the place? Is he going to move with a bigger army? Remains to be seen. I'm going to ask you a question real quick. You have to answer instantly, okay? Mm-hmm. You're given the option, yes or no. Would you replace all the fingers on one of your hand with thumbs?
No.
Why?
Well, what would they do with that?
Thumbs are like that's the most useful finger. It's like the most powerful, and it like can do the most things.
Yeah, but I don't think more thumbs lets you do more things, right?
I don't know, but if you had 5 thumbs, your handshake would be so strong.
Oh, that's true.
That would be crazy.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
I could absolutely grab a guy by the face and crush his head.
You could definitely crawl up a mountain with that too.
I would be good at climbing with what, 5 thumbs?
Yeah.
They call me Thumb Gamer. By the way, the 2 Colossi are going to poke it on the side here.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. Look at this little choke he's forced him to try to walk through. But the Army of Bunny is better than what we see here.
Yeah, it's pretty fearsome.
Yeah. It's kind of a scary situation because there's sentries in there. So it's like if you try to come forward, Stats might nail some force fields and just slaughter a 1/3 of your army.
Look at this army from Terran moving parallel with the Protoss. He's going to try to come out. Actually, Stats is a little bit out of position. He needs to regroup here. The Colossi are separated. Here come the sentries now. Disable on the 2 Colossi and a dive on the 3rd. Bunny, I think he might be able to take this fight.
Oh my god, yeah, he's losing 2 of his Colossi already. The 3rd one going to go out. GG, Bunny with a just awesome game. The opener was so different. with the just nonstop Viking and Cyclone production into the just endless scuffles. And then I think Stats was almost caught off guard this game. Like, he never loses that many units early on and is put into those weird positions. Because that build doesn't even exist, what we just saw. I've never seen it before.
The bun is back.
The bun is back. No, he's here for the first time.
The bun has arrived.
He has arrived. There you go.
The bun. Yeah, I think that rush really threw off Stats. I mean, he did survive it, but then I think especially Stats with poor positioning, he might have been due for a recall. Recall set back up and said like there was 2 Colossi disabled, 1 was shot down. He just didn't have what he needed.
Yeah, he wanted to grind down some units with the force fields and the positioning and everything, and then Bunny just like punished him for coming out with a smaller army.
Okay, so we're gonna go to game 3 now. Finally, not a one-sided series at last.
Yay.
Yay.
Africa Freaks. Stats. Team NV. Bunny.
What kind of game will we have here? Oop.
Type of game you
I cut out for a second, sorry. You hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, what kind of game we're going to have here, I wonder.
Well, I almost feel like a lot of this is dependent upon what opener Stats does. Like, do you think that weird Cyclone Viking opener does well if it's not a Stargate opener from Stats? If it's like Blink opener?
It does seem like Stats was probably so confident. He's like, all right, let's bring in another different build here. It's you're just at the beginnings of this tournament. You probably have to use up a lot of different styles and openings.
Well, the Phoenix build is something he does. He definitely rotates in a decent amount.
Yeah, and I think it's not bad, but I think that timing was so sharp.
Yeah.
And
it was such an interesting little army. It's actually, it looked like Bunny's build was like maybe inspired by an old TY build from a few years ago. Back in the Abyssal Reef days. TY had a build that looked very, very similar where he made additional Cyclone and Viking, and then like, I forget how many Marines, it was like 6 or something, and he literally would just walk up and kill your third. And it was like, it was in a Phoenix meta as well, so it was like, yeah, that's why it kind of reminds me of that. But I wonder like how that does against Stalkers. You know, you have the high ground natural, so it almost feels like it's not going to work as well. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah. So it's like, what opener is Stats going to do, and then is Bunny going to try that build again? And yeah, it felt like a very specific counterplay to that, but it's a common Stats build, so it's hard to unpack exactly what that was. Whoa, that was a jump and a half.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It's not an immediate Stargate. Instead, it's a Twilight.
Yeah. So it looks like it is a Blink opener.
Yeah. And we may have the Robo thrown down a little bit later. The Blink will come. Could be 4-gate. That's been more popular in Super Tournament, doing the 4-gate pressure builds. We've had it where it's a pretty modest pressure build of 3-gate, which is like enough to like maybe go in if they're not paying attention, but you're not committed to trying to end it. So I think we're going to have one of the two. With Stats, I really wouldn't be surprised if it was 3-gate.
Yeah, I think it's more his style anyways.
Yeah.
The 4-gate puts more pressure on you to get actual damage done.
4-gate more like parting, for instance. Maybe SOS, depending on the how the stars align.
Yeah. Well, it's 2-gate right now. It looks like it's going to be a Widowmine drop. Don't forget the last time you did a Widowmine drop, it was a Drilling Claws-based one.
Yeah.
Which comes a lot later. And that was part of the reason why it started to work, is because Stats was already moving out across the map. It was after 5 minutes instead of around like 4:20.
I think...
oh, it is a 4-gate.
Yeah, it's going to be this 4-gate build we've talked about before. Kind of funny to see the Reaper go up there again, but I guess it still might... Nope. Does not get in there, get any info.
He actually saw, though, the amount of gateways, right? All the gates were being built right there.
Yeah, it looks like our observer's showing us that.
Yeah, so he actually knows that it's 4-gate Blink.
Hellion out
That's
here now.
That's pretty useful, yeah. That was
well,
a good
I
scout.
would say seeing this come, now it becomes a matter of decision-making and not just reaction time. So with this build, we want to make sure that the two key locations are defended, the natural and then the open area here in the main. A lot of times you need a bunker at both the natural and the main, and then you need a tank that's covered well enough to then set up for the next tank to come out.
Well, he's going to have that tank in a second. Here comes that Widow Mine draw. Stats with the good reaction.
Yeah, you're seeing why these Widow Mine drops tend to not be that effective against players as fast as Stats. Can he actually get this?
No.
So that's the Medevac's home now for some time. So some Stalkers will stay back and try to help defend, but
if this makes you keep a couple Stalkers back, that's already a small victory, I would say.
Yeah.
I think if he wants to get the damage done, and he went 4-gate, so he does want it, he probably has to bring everything, but Bunny might have already delayed him enough. Look at this. He's starting to do the harassment, but with a very small amount of Stalkers.
Okay, so this is what we were talking about. There's the bunker, there's the tank, but there's a small opening that Protoss can put pressure on. Now, you don't want to overextend here. The blink is the resource you're working with, so you want to blink out, don't lose anything. And as you take your third, Terran is stuck here. If Terran pushes out too quickly, especially with the tank. Oh my god, I love this. Okay, so we've seen this before. Occasionally, the bunker at the front is neglected. You can, of course, repair it in time, but a lot of Terrans don't have the SCVs. You know, damage comes out very quickly in this game.
Yeah. He is about to have that third tank that you've been kind of positing as a very important part of this.
Oh. I almost didn't see that.
Wow, very nice connection. All right, Stats picks off one of the tanks. His Stalkers are getting kind of low. A lot of orange ones, lots of yellow ones, starting to lose some.
Yeah, that's a little bit sloppy by him. But, I mean, the idea, especially with these 4-gate plays, is you're trying to actually shave off units. If you have a lot of good engages with the 4-gate, Terran doesn't have that much to move out on. And a Terran that doesn't handle that well and tries to expand too quickly loses on the third base. So here's where Terran will try to move out. And in this moment, a well-timed out attack, sending the 4 Stalkers over here.
Stats is getting a lot done with this.
Yeah, it's
His
cool.
execution of it feels more like the 3-gate variety.
Yeah, well, it looks like you could see Stats tends to not do this as much.
Yeah.
As you know, when everything's at stake here, he's a little bit more safe. But he is playing the style. It is working against Bunny. He's not handling it, I think, as nimbly as Parting does, for instance, when we see him do it, or Parting, like, kind of, you know, sometimes just wins the game off this.
Yeah, for sure.
But Bunny is going into the third base with a black eye here. The tanks are not able to cover. And now we have the Colossi coming up here.
Yeah, that's scary.
And, I don't know where the tank is at all now, but I'll tell you what, being behind this command center is going to bunch up these Marines a lot when these Colossi shots come down.
Well, he's just going to lift it for now.
Yeah,
oh,
why even disable it?
Well,
You know?
yeah, this is not going so well for Bunny right now.
Yeah. Oh, what? Huh?
What did
Oh,
we
he
just...
must have recalled it. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought somehow he got out and then right-clicked on his Nexus and then lost it. So, again, pressure's on here. It's one tank, a CC at half health. Let's keep in mind that was almost killed off earlier. It's paramount that Terran takes control of this base, defends it, and progresses into a later game. But for now, we have 2 Colossi. Only 1 Viking for the Terran. The Viking is the unit that at range can hit the Colossi. But 2 Colossi and a Warp Prism that can juggle, you know, it makes the Viking really more of a footnote in this fight.
Well, Bunny does secure it, right? And his SCV count is actually pretty darn healthy at 61. That's a very, very solid economy from him. Stats does have that 4th Nexus going up. He's getting into his Speed Prism, has the double Forge, a little bit late on that Forge. He is a couple upgrades behind because of that. Bunny just now getting the Armory, so he's not going to be able to keep ahead on those upgrades as much as he would like.
Yeah. Protoss staying ahead in this control style play. Getting a 4th base to the Terran's 3rd.
Now, let's see if Stats goes into Archons here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he is.
Well, he really favors this for the past, like, 6 months or so. We've been seeing him, like, very, very often go, like, Blink into Colossus, pressuring the whole time, into Archons for a big attack. just kind of utilizing those resources and the tankiness of the Archons.
I think it's smart because there's not any outs really for the Terran. I think it's easy to control.
Yes, well,
you know, sometimes with the Templar they can be sniped, or the
it's
War
hard to
Prism
screw up with this army, right?
Yeah, and that doesn't mean it's newbie either. It's like, well, this is probably actually a better way to play. Like, why would you make it harder for yourself?
Yeah.
The only spell you have to cast correctly is the Force Field, if you're going to even do that.
Just use Guardian Shield.
Yeah.
Oftentimes the Force Field is actually cast very poorly and blocks your Zealots. Even to this day, I'm surprised how many bad Force Fields we see in battles. You're like, I have sentries, I should cast Force Fields. Let me block my own Zealots.
The one Force Field in the middle of the fight that does nothing.
No, that one too. Okay, the little harassment doesn't really get anything done. Okay, yeah, he does have the Viking. I was going to say, if you don't have a Viking right now around your base, you're making a grave error.
You need that as a deterrent. Okay, we will probably see the Protoss. Oh, here we go. Fourth base coming down. I was going to say Protoss attack at the fourth. The fourth isn't up yet.
Yeah. I think he should not attack into the third. Like, the defensive setup's good, but the fourth, I don't think you can hold it. You need like a building wall here to hold this.
Okay, this is a pretty good angle for Terran.
Yeah, it is. It is. But that's a scary army for Protoss as well.
Storm, man. He should have gone Storm. We were wrong all along. He could have stormed right behind that.
Well, yeah, Storm would be better there.
Yeah.
But Bunny's defense is really good. Like, he's got the right stuff going on.
Can we point out Bunny is playing really, really well here?
He is. He's playing a great game.
I think Stats has a minor lead, but like Bunny is absolutely a threat.
Yeah.
Now you can blink over this.
Well, the thing is, like, what Stats is doing right now,
whoa,
this army actually, he can lose huge chunks of this army. He has 5 disruptors at home. To put this in perspective, okay? He's got like a next level army ready to fight.
Yeah.
See, here they come. He's getting his DT tech.
There
goes down the Stargate and the second Cyber, so he's going to go into carriers.
Yeah, with Ghosts coming here, Terran is just finishing up the rest of the stuff that he needs in order to be viable in the late game as well. Is this expansion, can you actually break in here? Let's find out.
I think Bunny holds.
Damn.
Like, I don't think you can kill Bunny. He's done a very good job defensively. He's got a great army. He's continuing to upgrade. There's a lot of really nice things that Bunny's doing. But you know that what I was talking about, how it's like, oh, maybe before that second splash area is where you can do something. Honestly, the Archon timing that Stats has kind of fills in that area because his army gains this extra bulk, and then he goes into the disruptors right behind it. So it doesn't feel like there was ever really a window here for Bunny to get out there and do that damage.
It does seem like that. But Bunny is finally able to come on the map and start taking out expansions here and there.
He's making 3 commands. He's getting Cloak for his Ghosts.
This is a great TVP we've got.
It's really nice. It's just, is Bunny going to be able to play that really late game Terran versus Protoss, which so few players can play well? Who do we see do well?
Against all players' stats.
Yeah, yeah. It's so hard. Because now we're going to have Blink DTs, Disruptors. He's going to be going into carriers, it looks like, as well.
So we see Army out here on the map, and it looks like Stats will go back and try to defend.
This is very nice. I like this move a lot. All right, the Mines clearing out some of these Zealots. Oh, he actually ends up getting the Nexus as well. Good pickoff. It's like, all right, I'll make 2 more Nexuses.
Well, there's basically just 2 edges that Protoss have to defend. And I will say, yeah, I mean, we basically got Bunny going into a super late game here. How's he going to play exactly?
Well, I think it's actually being dictated more from Stats. I think Bunny doesn't get too much choice here. Like, the fact that Stats is clearly going into carriers, Bunny has to, I guess his decision is like, do we go bio? Or do we go into lots of Vikings? And both have their ups and downs.
Yeah, we may be at a point where, depending on how armies are exchanged, things are going to have to be remade very quickly. Now, Zerg, of course, can just spawn a million of anything out of larva if they have enough money. A little bit trickier for Protoss and Terran. Obviously, gateways and barracks can immediately produce the Tier 1 units, but stuff like factories and Robo, we really want to watch for what units are going to be used and how many are lost at any point in time.
Yeah. And he's going up to 5 starports right now.
Yeah.
So Bunny is really getting ready to pump out Vikings like mad. Which I think, yeah, he probably does need to be ready for that, honestly. Oh, and he's getting the fusion core as well. That's very interesting. You know what? Do you think he's going to go BCs as a counter?
Oh,
that would be way more interesting.
Yeah,
that
would be fun to cast.
BCs actually beat carriers.
Now, there are nukes coming down here. Protoss is taking a fight that I'm not sure if this is a doable thing. That's a lot of splash you're eating there. The nuke's going to hit. The probes have been evacuated.
Yeah, a little drop up here in the main base as well. Going to slow down that carrier production. Very nice, very nice. Oh my god.
He's going to unpower everything over here.
He's just ripping this base apart.
Whoa, but hold on. Big attack coming in here. A little bit ago, we saw that almost nothing was going well for Protoss. And that might still be the case here as that comes from behind.
That's crazy.
Bunny is heating up.
Dude.
The bun is in the oven.
That was one of the better TVPs that I've seen. Straight up. That was so good. Like, it felt like Stats was in control for a lot of the game and dictated a lot of things for Bunny. But he stayed super calm, kept his defense. When Stats tried to spread out and tech switch and attack all at once, Bunny punished. And that can be hard to do. But Stats was overextending a little bit. Like, he was attacking and going carriers and trying to make nexuses all over the map. And it's like, okay, maybe that's a little bit too much. And so Bunny, he's nuking, he's dropping, he's sending units to the side, and then he's collapsing on the attack on his planetary.
And honestly, that little drop at the top, unpowering everything, and the fact that Stats didn't go back and try to save it, he doubled down and tried to kill that planetary, and it backfired. Very cool by Bunny. We're watching Stats lose in late game.
Bunny's playing like a badass.
Yeah.
This is awesome to see.
Very cool stuff. We're going to go to Light Shade for Game 2. Will Bunny actually beat Stats 3-1? Or can Stats bounce back and even this out 2-2? We're going to find out as Game 4 has loaded up.
Game start. Africa Freaks. Stats. Team NV, Bunny.
Now, Stats did go for the 4-gate. It wasn't poorly executed, but he did absorb a lot of damage as he did it. It kind of shows you why we're used to mostly seeing Bunny defend and do the balancing act of macro defense play pretty well. It's not normally his style, but I always welcome players kind of showing more variation and more expression in their style. But I think he won't be doing that again here. I think he tried it out, it didn't work, and he's going to go back to what works.
I'm so much more excited now that Bunny is putting up such a nice series, especially that game. Like, yeah, they were 1-1 before that, so obviously Bunny did some things correctly already. But that game in particular is something I have not seen out of his TVP ever before. That was one of the cleaner, better late-game TVPs that we've seen, and not many Terrans can pull stuff like that off.
Well, Bunny's always been in a state of improvement. I mean, look...
It was slow, though.
Yeah, but, I mean, dude, it takes people different times to get good. And, you know, sometimes the players that we were casting the first 2 years who seemed godlike couldn't keep up. They burned out. Other players stuck around, and their time comes later on. And
totally.
I mean, it's not like Bunny has been in arrested development skill-wise in this GSL. I mean, I think it can be easy to dismiss him because he's gotten the same placements many times before, but that's what it looks like when everybody's improving. This is why a lot of times when people ladder and they don't feel like they're going anywhere, they have to remember that the whole world's in motion, not just them. You know, everybody's skill is developing. Some people are, I imagine, are diminishing, but a lot of people who are active are improving. But it seems like Bunny has truly leveled up. In the 2 games that he won, he looked fantastic. In the game that he lost, he didn't look bad either.
No, that's true. He didn't look bad that game. He looked fine. He just stats looked better.
That's exciting for me because honestly, I think stats looks pretty good too here. It doesn't seem like, I mean, this is not like watching Kier play where Kier was like the burglars in Home Alone in the last game. But yeah, I mean, Bunny looks really good, and it looks like he's really improved. And I welcome this.
Absolutely.
But
and
I
you're
still
right.
think that Stats can take this, though.
Yeah. Well, even that last game, I think that Stats was in control for quite a bit, and just he was doing too much at the end. You can't go carriers and trade out your army and expand everywhere all at once. Like, generally in StarCraft, you should think of it this way: you can do two things. You can't do three things. Like, unit transitions are one of the weakest times for every single race. If you're switching what units, like you're switching up your army, because there's this moment where your stuff just isn't cohesive and you're building new stuff, and like you don't have the right compositions, not together, that type of thing. And then like to do that plus attack plus expand everywhere, it's like, and not defend, a bit too much. So I think he can reel that back in and play a much cleaner, nicer game.
So we've got the Phoenixes. This is what was used in Game 2. Uh-oh.
Wow. Runs right by. All right.
Yeah. Can he just pick it up? No, he doesn't pick it up.
Come on, Stats. Come on. He'll be fine. He's not going to lose any probes, I don't think, but annoying.
Well, the shield battery can't heal everything right away, but yeah, I think you're right. This isn't a... You just don't want to let him get in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the end of the world. I guess when you see the Phoenix, you basically know what's happening.
Yeah, when you see the Stargate, it's not like there's
You're not gonna
something
go
else you need to scout.
You're like, I better check and make sure there's not a second Stargate in there.
Oh, I got to make sure he doesn't have DT tech right now.
Yeah,
It's like, no, he doesn't.
He
Don't
does
worry.
not. That's not a thing. So the three Phoenixes are going to be out on the move here. Marine's positioned to try to help fight that off if they come into the natural. Doesn't look like the Phoenixes are going to commit to coming in. Terran, with Phoenixes out, isn't going to be out on the map for a little bit here. We do have Widowmines coming out.
Yeah.
A Raven as well. Things tend to slow down.
Yeah, generally you want to build up to a critical mass to fight against any Phoenix-based openers. Phoenixes don't really scale all that well. They're going to come in and try to get some harassment done. Ooh!
Yeah, a little nasty coming in there, but you gotta know that that's going to be a big risk. I mean, when you see a lot of Phoenixes out there,
Sure, yeah.
Widowmines are a very reasonable move.
Yeah.
And so...
And that's a great place to hide them right there. But that pick-off on the Phoenix is pretty huge for him, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, pickoffs on the two SCVs making the two engineering bays.
I love that he's going double eBay right now as well. Because when you see two eBays, you know that you're... you know that the given player making the two upgrade facilities basically is not planning on really committing to attacks until like 2-2. It's really a signal towards macro.
Yeah, it's a nod that this is going to be a long game.
Yeah,
and we better
likely
invest in the long game. And I think this is I welcome this. This is going to look in some ways idea-wise like the last game we had, Game 3. But it's going to have been launched off of different tech, different styles of play. Another Phoenix has been made. There's actually a fifth one being brought into this. It's about halfway done.
Yeah, Stats likes to make a decent amount of Phoenixes. All right, well, kills that off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can he get this tank? No, there's too much up here.
Honestly, like, we're kind of hitting the numbers where you can't really do too much as Stats. Even this right here is this is kind of a silly, this type of move.
Well,
I
it's
guess
working,
he can
man.
just kind of do it because the Phoenixes are here, you know?
Yeah, but I think, honestly, Protoss might want to recall here if he's not careful.
He needs to get home with everything. He can't be caught out in the open like he was that one game.
By the way, if Bunny wins this and goes on, I'm curious to see how he does against other Protosses. There will be Protosses in his path in this Super Tournament.
Yeah, well,
you know?
Yeah, the winner of this plays the winner of Special and Zest. And honestly, the way that Bunny's been playing, if he plays Zest, I would favor Bunny in a lot of ways.
I agree.
The way he gets into late game, that's not really Zest's forte. He's more of a mid-game player, but Bunny looked very solid throughout the mid-games here. Like, he is not leaving a bunch of open gaps. He knows how to defend and just hold on.
Charge is done. Sometimes you have tournaments where one style of play or one matchup actually becomes literally the most important thing to win that, you know. Like, really, this might be about the best TVPer.
Yeah.
You know, where he might fight Zest, and then he goes up to, you know, another Protoss, and then another Protoss, and it's like, okay, can you kill Protosses?
I'm trying to remember. Wasn't it a super tournament where it was like Gumiho and 7 Protosses in the round of 8?
Yeah, there was something like that.
And it was like, I think Gumiho went to the
or
round
like
of 4,
2
but
Terrans and 6 Protosses or something like that.
Yeah, it was, but it was definitely like that, whereas like Gumiho was the only guy who actually understood how to fight Adept Phoenix.
Yeah. Now, the push is coming here on the 4th. I'm not totally sure how useful these Phoenixes are going to be against an army of this size.
Yeah, they really do scale down a bit.
Terran didn't drop, so, you know, where do you go from here? It seems like this is just a bad Protoss army. Can he get the Immortal here? No, he does.
Oh, yeah.
He actually is going to continue to spill forward here.
Oh, he's going to get that one, Colossus? Oh, just barely not.
Phoenix is fighting back.
The overcharge really helping him out there. But you know what? Cancels the 4th. I like it. Oh.
He was not quite that fast at doing this. He kind of misclicked or something went wrong, but I guess he gets the unload anyway.
He has the tanks on the low ground that can shell some of the units that are trying to walk around, I think.
Yeah. We have the Archons and the Zealots coming down here on the tanks.
Yeah, the units in the main base, though, for Bunny, doing a great job killing all the warping in units. And in fact, he mostly cleans up what was attacking into his siege position as well. I think Bunny's going to do it.
I think Bunny just killed
Stats. My God.
I got to say, he's got a real handle on the matchup.
Dude.
GG, Bunny. Crushing through.
Chills.
That's what I call it, TVP.
Chills. I'm a believer, man. Holy crap. Like, last chance was not a fluke. Bunny has finally come about. This guy he is dynamite in all 3 matchups now.
He looks great.
Oh my
God. So much
God.
better than the other matchup with Cure Parting. Honestly, if I was in a restaurant and they served me Cure versus Parting, I'd send it back.
I'd never go there again.
Yeah.
Bad Yelp review.
Yeah. But Stats. I mean, he doesn't look bad.
No,
but
it didn't
Bunny
feel like he
looks
played particularly bad.
like he's leveled up.
Yes.
He has absolutely leveled up.
You cover that up and ask who that is, it's like, I think I would say that it's TY.
Wow, Bunny once again proves that he is in absolute good form right now. Congratulations, thank you. Wow, you beat Stats today, Bunny. I'm sure you're rejoiced. How do you feel? Well, so far, I haven't won a single match. I haven't won a single match against him in an official match. In online matches, I've beaten him sometimes, but I did lose to him a lot in the past. And you know, Stats is going to the army soon. So you know, I really didn't want to send him away before I beat him. So I really tried to sharpen my strategies, and it worked out well today. And the stats really went for the Phoenix and the Stalkers. And Bunny, overall, it looked like you prepared really well today. What do you think? Well, yesterday my preparation didn't go well. My win rate wasn't good. So I had no confidence. But yesterday I got some help from SOS. And I think that help was very instrumental to my win today. The victory in Death Aura was very inspirational. And Stats, who is really good at the late game, you beat him in late game. So are you confident in the long games, Bunny? You know, in the past I used to stroll the game when I go to late game. So I try to fix that a bit. And I'm happy that today my games were good.
저도 아는데 머릿속으로는 아는데 이제 일단 멈춰야 돼. 의뢰선 그만 날려야 돼 하는 걸 아는데.
You know, I just keep telling myself not to throw away my medevacs, but it's really hard.
하고 있습니다.
But I'm trying.
노력하고 있다. 오늘 1세트에 그 의료선 폭사된 것만 아니었으면 3대 0도 혹시 가능.
In the first set, if you hadn't thrown away your medevac, you probably could have 3-0, right?
제가 좀 약간 손도 좀 덜 풀리고.
Yes, that's right. In the first set, my hands weren't warmed up, and I had some mistakes. And it was just a very unfortunate loss for me.
작년은 평균적으로 16강으로 성적을 마무리했습니다.
And last year, your results have been very average. But what do you hope for this season? This year,
우승 꼭 한번 해보고 싶은데
I want to
쉽지
lift
않은
the
걸
trophy
아니까,
once
열심히
this
해야
year.
될것 같아요.
It's gonna be hard, but I want to try.
다음 8강 상대는 주성욱 선수 혹은 후안 로페스
And your next opponent in the round of 8 will be either Special or Zest.
후안 만나고 싶고,
Who do you want to meet?
토스는
Frankly
최대한
speaking,
피하고
I want to play against Special. I don't want to play against Protoss.
서운하시겠어요.
후안이 더 못해서.
You know, like Special is the lesser player out of the two, so I want to verse him.
후안을 만나게 될지 지켜보도록 하고요. 마지막 한마디까지.
Okay, so Bunny, before you go, anything you want to say?
팀에서 너무 잘 도와주고 해가지고.
Well, my teams helped me a lot,
팀의 MV 팀에 너무 감사하고.
so I'm really grateful to Team MV, and I'll continue to show good performance.
다시 한번 축하드립니다.
Once again, congratulations, Bunny. Thank you.
GSL 슈퍼토너먼트
So cool to see Bunny playing so well.
Yeah.
How far is he going to go? I think he could go very deep.
Oh yeah, the way he's playing, absolutely. Bunny could do anything in this tournament.
Guys, quick break. When we come back, our final best of 5 for the round of 16 of the GSL Super Tournament. You don't want to miss it.